Hello Nistas and Nistas, how are you today? Welcome back to the channel. I want to thank you guys for coming back to the channel. I'm SavingsFashionista, and over here we do mainly things fragrances, whether it's body or home. And today we are here to talk fragrances, you guys. And today I want to share with you my honey fragrances. So I have upgraded or increased the honey fragrances in my collection. So if you're interested in hearing about those honey things that I have in the collection, please stay tuned. Okay, you guys, so today is the day that I want to share with you my updated honey fragrances. I've never shared my honey fragrances here, but so since honey is that fragrance that I am all in for this season, I decided to share those fragrances with you. So starting off, I do have three fragrances that I've had in my collection prior to the summer, when I decided that I was going to be adding more honey fragrances to the collection. So let's talk about those three fragrances that I already had in the collection. So let's start off with this one. This is Libre Le Parfum by YSL. This is the very first fragrance that I had from the Libre line, and this is actually a replenished bottle. So I have gone through one bottle. So yeah, that's how much I really enjoy this fragrance. It is more of a vanilla, orange blossom, lavender type of fragrance, but you do get that underlying honey note in it. It has fragrance notes of orange blossom, lavender, vanilla bourbon, saffron, ginger, and honey. This is absolutely beautiful. Right now, this is my favorite Libre from the Libre line of YSL. I would recommend trying this before any of them, in my opinion. I do have the La Absolute, and I do like the latest one that just came out, the Flowers and Flame. I do like that one, but this one is definitely my favorite one, and I do get that honey note in this fragrance. I can smell it, but it's not as prominent as the orange blossom, the vanilla, and the lavender, but it is absolutely beautiful. The next fragrance that I have in the collection that I've had that has a honey note is Delox by Teziana Terenzi. Now, Delox is known to be a rosy coffee fragrance that's beautiful. This is a really nice fragrance. It has fragrance notes of iris, coffee, Turkish rose, vanilla, myrrh, amber, musk, honey, and cedarwood. Like I said, you do get some sweetness in this, but this is definitely a coffee and rose fragrance. The sweetness, I'm sure it comes from the combination of the vanilla as well as those Turkish rose notes, but it's beautiful. Really enjoy it. So again, this is Delox by Teziana Terenzi. All right, the next fragrance, and I didn't even realize that this fragrance had honey in it until I was doing my research, and it came up for fragrances that has honey in it, and this is Bianco Latte. You guys, I'm just so sold on its competitor, which is the Escapade Gourmand. I don't dislike this fragrance, but I have to say I don't love it the way I love Escapade Gourmand. It's a beautiful fragrance. It is really more prominent with the caramel and the vanilla note. Like I said, I didn't realize that this had a note of honey in it. It has honey, caramel, vanilla, and white musk. Very simple, but it is a pretty fragrance. So it was interesting to learn that this had honey in it, but like I said, honey is not the dominating note in this fragrance. So again, this is Bianco Latte. All right, the next fragrance is one that I added this summer. I want to give a shout out to Simply Aisha, because I learned of this fragrance from her channel. Never had heard of this fragrance house, totally new to me, but it does have a note of honeycomb in it, and this is from the house of Trussardi, and this is Endless Shopping. It has fragrance notes of bergamot, apple accord, bee honeycomb, rose, jasmine, honey, heliotrope, tonka bean, and musk. This smells like an expensive hotel. I always say that. It is definitely one of those fragrances, and I do pick up the honey note in it because it has honeycomb and it has honey in it. I do pick up the honey note in it, but it's not one of those rich, deep resin honeys. This is more of an airy, musky type of fragrance, but I do like the way that they blended the honey in, and you still get that sweetness from the honey. But this is one of those fragrances that you definitely can wear year round. It is not a beast mode type of fragrance. It is more of a relaxing, easygoing, everyday, possibly signature scent type of fragrance, and I do enjoy it, and I'm glad that I have it in the collection. So again, this is Endless Shopping by Trussardi. All right, the next fragrance is something that was newly added to the collection this year, and this is a 2024 release. This is the Marc Jacobs Perfect Elixir, and this has fragrance notes of honey, plum, rhubarb, amber, vanilla, resin, and patchouli. You guys, this is also one of those signature scent type of fragrance. It is a true designer fragrance. I do enjoy the plum note that you get in here, but the resin, I'm not a big fan of resin, but I do believe that that honey in here, it balances out the resin note as well as the plum, which makes it so easy for me to enjoy. And like I said, I've never been into the Marc Jacobs fragrance line, but I am so glad that I do have this and another one. This is so good. This is really, really nice. Really enjoy it and glad that I have it. So again, this is Perfect by Marc Jacobs, and this is the Elixir. All right, the next fragrance, you guys, complete honey masterpiece in my opinion. If you don't take anything else from this video, I do think that if you are a person that is trying to experience honey or get into honey, this would be the one that I would recommend that you purchase, and it is very affordable. There are other ones here that are good, but this is probably the most affordable one, and this is the one to me that has a prominent note of honey that you can't go wrong with, and this is Honey Sweet by Sniff Co. This one is so good, you guys, so I bought a backup of it. This has crystallized honey, broom absolute, lavender flower, incense, Havana wood, and vanilla bourbon. Oh, this is so good. Now, you have to enjoy woody, earthy fragrances to enjoy this. This is definitely a balanced unisex fragrance, and now seeing that they said that the honey is crystallized, I can get, when I smelled it, it's like it clicked. Okay, I get why they say crystallized, because it does smell more like a crumbled, hard textured honey than a sticky, liquidy type of honey, but it is good. I really like this fragrance. Sniff & Co, y'all did y'all thing, and Perfume Professor did your thing with this. Really enjoyed. This is Honey Sweet by Sniff & Co in collaboration with Professor Perfume. Now the next fragrance, it is also a honey fragrance that is very affordable, and this is Bee by Ellis Brooklyn. I just recently added this. This was on sale at the Black Friday sale with at Sephora. This has dark rum, Divana, honey, brand absolute, cinnamon, sandalwood, vanilla bean, and cacao. This is good. You definitely get that booziness on first spray, And the booziness, it doesn't smell like, how can I explain this? You know how alcohol just have that alcohol smell? That's more of the booziness that you get from it initially. But once this dries down, that honey note, it just rests on my skin. It is so nice. Really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. I haven't really worn this the way that I want to wear it. I did a discovery on the Ellis Brooklyn set, and I really enjoyed it from that point. I have worn it in my pulse points, but wearing it as an all over spray, but I enjoyed it, so I purchased it in full size bottle, and here we go. B by Ellis Brooklyn. The next one, you guys, is something that I also just recently added to the collection. This is New York Forever by Bun number 9. And the fresh cinnamon with the patchouli with that sweet honey. The honey is really what makes this fragrance sweet. And it says it has some spicy vanilla in it, but I definitely can smell that honeyed amber in here. It has fragrance notes of fresh cinnamon bark, patchouli oil, spicy sweet vanillas, honeyed amber, musky labdanum, and earthy moss. So again, this is New York Forever by Bun number 9. It is spicy, sweet, woody, and earthy. Absolutely beautiful fragrance. So good. So this next fragrance, I consider this to be one of my top shelf fragrances. This is new to the collection. I have not worn it yet. It's like I'm waiting for this special occasion, which doesn't even make any sense. You know, with as many fragrances as I have, just wear the fragrance, girl. But the fragrance that I'm speaking of is Tabacco Honey by Guerlain. This is my first Guerlain fragrance. And this is a honey tobacco explosion. I know what I'm waiting on, because you got to be ready for this when you wear this. This is not a mediocre fragrance. This is not, I'm just going to throw this on. It's not that type of fragrance. It is definitely a statement making fragrance. And it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. It has fragrance notes of honey, tobacco, vanilla, sesame, argar wood, which is an oud, and sandalwood. So again, this is Tabacco Honey by Guerlain. And the last fragrance, this is another fragrance that I did not realize had a honey note in it. And this is, normally when we think of fragrance, when we think of honey scented fragrances, it's more like a fall winter type fragrance. However, there are some fragrances that has honey in them that can be worn throughout the year, but this particular fragrance is definitely a summer, springtime type of fragrance. And this is Melon Kiss from Navitus in collaboration with Gabby Loves Perfume. This has fragrance notes of bergamot, melon, honeydew melon, coconut, creamed honey, and Madagascar vanilla. Now this creamed honey, this smells nothing like any other honey that I have shared with you. I don't really know what creamed honey means. If anything, I get more coconut and melon in this fragrance, but it does have this underlying sweet stickiness to it that could possibly be the creamed honey. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful fragrance. So I really enjoyed wearing this summer and spring, and I can't wait to wear it again. So again, this is Melon Kiss by Navitus in collaboration with Gabby Loves Perfume. So you guys, here recently I have added 7 honey fragrances. There were other ones on the wish list that I decided to do a sampling of first, and one of the ones that come to mind, well, two of the ones, is Miel Extats by Navitus, I'm not saying that right, as well as Boravi by Thameen. And I am glad that I did sample those fragrances first, because initially I'm not vibing with those. I'm glad that I didn't blind buy them, but I'm happy about the honey fragrances that I now have in the collection. So if you would share any honey forward fragrances that you enjoy, or you think that I might enjoy, or just a recommendation for me to sample, share that in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys so very much. I greatly appreciate you, and do not forget, you, yes you are great. Bye-bye.